scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your souls.
Hey guys, it's Nick from here, and today I've got a bunch of good news for the Mortal Kombat X community. We get to see a bunch of new gameplay for Mileena, Takeda, and Kung Jin, and even some good news for myself. The copyright strike, as if you guys didn't know, I had a copyright strike on my channel, thanks to Warner Bros. They finally removed it. I contacted with one of them the other day, and they removed it yesterday. So it's good to see now that I'm going to have thumbnails again, and I'm going to be uploading videos just like I used to on a daily basis, or close to that anyways. So I'm going to be breaking down what we saw in the live stream today. I'm going to start with Mileena, because Mileena was the one I'm least excited to see. Like, out of the three we got to see today, she's the one that excited me the least, and I just got to get her out of the way. So I found that in one of her variations is reminding me very much of the Mortal Kombat 9 style she had, with her like ball roll move and the Sai and the teleport. It just didn't have a whole lot of differences than Mortal Kombat 9. It had some, don't get me wrong, like an invisible teleport move, and she's very mobile, but I mean, aside from that, I didn't find a whole bunch of differences. Then she had a variation based around like biting, so she could go and bite the opponent in during combos, and it leads it up to very good moves and damaging. And she could leap over the opponent whenever they are crouching, so instead of having to worry about like grabbing them or getting them to get out of the ground block, you can jump over them and do some damage. She has a new design. It's not my favorite design of Mileena because the teeth look very much different, and she actually has lips now. It's almost like the teeth are growing out of her cheeks. So the theory of that is, I think since she is a mutant, that's just how her anatomy is built, that she was through evolution she looks like that. That's the only explanation I could think of, that evolution made her design look different through the years she's been alive. I don't really like her character anymore. I find she's very kind of annoying almost, and like she still pertains to her flirty and sexy attitude, kind of childish still, but she really wants the throne from Kotal, and she has no idea how to run a realm like Kotal does. So just for the fact that I'm on Kotal's side and think he deserves the throne, I'm not really a fan of Mileena's character. And finally, she has a variation that uses her size. Now this is the only variation of MKX Mileena that I actually thought I might try out. This is the only one I found that would look fun. She has a lot of combos with her size, and they look like they can be put to use very well. Good rushdown character, and not a whole lot to talk about other than size. Now that she's out of the way, on to Takeda. Now, if you guys didn't know this, I was very excited to see Takeda. Like, I've been waiting for Takeda to be confirmed for the longest time. He was confirmed back when the story trailer came out, and I was so hyped because he's my favorite comic character. If you guys follow up with the comics, then you see that Takeda is one of the main characters in An Apprentice of Scorpion. And we finally got to see some gameplay of him today, and he looks brutal. He's so cool. I cannot wait to get my hands on Takeda. He's a very ranged character, but he's got such great up close. He's just a very overall good character, kind of the jack of the trades, I think that's how you say it. Anyways, you know what I mean. So one of his variations is based on skills he borrowed from Scorpion. So as we know, he's an apprentice to Scorpion, so he has moves like Scorpion's kunai. He uses his whip, his sword chain whip, badass weapon of destruction thingy, as like a spear move, and you can use it in combos to follow it up. And it's similar to the spear move that Scorpion had in Injustice, where he would pull them close and punch them away. However, the EX move that will just keep them up close, like Scorpion's does normally. We also get to see that he has a teleport similar to Scorpion's teleport punch. It's going to be very useful, as you can use it both in the air and on the ground. Takeda's looking like a great character. We also see that in his other variation, he's got an anti-air move and lots of low trips. So he's going to be a very he's going to be very good at mixing up with the anti-air and the down low. So he's going to be a dangerous character to play as, seeing as he's probably best to play at the jump range, which will be very, very difficult, and I can see him being a tournament favorite. And then his next variation is actually a game changer, because it is nothing like his previous two variations. He uses pulse swords, similar to Sector in the older 3D era games. If you remember, Sector had pulse swords. Well, Takeda has these now, his own. They're orange, I believe. And he is very up close, like he's very good at up close, and it is a very different variation, and he's not going to be the same to play as with the other two. So it just proves that variations can change up quite a bit. He has a brutal fatality, like I was speechless for the fatality, and I still am. And just look at this. It is so badass and awesome. I just can't get over it. It's definitely, if not my favorite, it is definitely one of my favorites for Mortal Kombat X. It's also good to see is this is the only fatality we see so far where the arms are removed. Now, this is actually something that kind of surprised me, was Kung Jin. Now, we didn't know he was going to be in the stream, but I didn't even think I was going to like Kung Jin that much. I did like him a little bit when I first saw the story trailer, but I was expecting myself to like Takeda more, and no, I like Kung Jin so much more. He looks like a character that I would use. He's probably going to be my main. I was pretty good with Green Arrow, and he does play similarly, and like when I say similarly, I use that vaguely. But he does play a little bit like Green Arrow, and I think I could do a lot of good work with Kung Jin, as I love all of his variations. One variation was he uses elemental arrows, similar to Green Arrow did from Injustice. He does have fire arrows, which power up his arrows. Pretty good. They make a lot more damage. And another cool, very rough around the edges move that's going to be tough for the opponents to handle was his meter draining arrows, which when you get hit by the arrow, this specific arrow, you will lose meter, like X-ray meter. So that's going to be very annoying, and it's going to be good for the Kung Jin player so that they don't have to worry about EX moves or X-rays, so that you can keep them on their toes to watch out for that kind of arrow. We also get stun arrows, which will be great for keeping up combos, and Kung Jin overall in this variation is just all about arrows, and he's a very aerial character. So this is a bow staff after all, and in his other variation, he uses this to his advantage. It's very up close, and he uses the staff elements of his bow. It's a very up close and quick character with some amazing combos. You're definitely going to have to watch out for him when he's up close, because not only in one variation is he great at range and zoning, he's also amazing up close, which is something that you have to be careful for with Kung Jin if you don't pay attention to his variations. He also has an air fireball, which will be good to mix up the opponent when they jump around. It will keep them kind of on the ground, and that's something that you want with Kung Jin because he can really mess them up close. Similar to Takeda, Kung Jin has a variation which is very different from his other ones. He has this weapon called the Chakram, and it is now the main purpose of this variation. Kind of reminds me of how Kung Lao throws his hat. It's when you can throw the weapon. It just reminds me of Kung Lao a little bit, and I think they did this on purpose, seeing as Kung Jin is his cousin. He's very quick, and he gets some even greater new combos. He's extremely different from the other variations, and he just looks really cool and different to use in this variation. Overall, Kung Jin has an amazing X-ray and an amazing fatality, and he is definitely my favorite new character, and I cannot wait to use him. However, I did also really like Takeda. So guys, let me know what you guys thought about today's live stream. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.
Let's see how he likes a Kamehameha!